Good evening, everyone doing today. My name is Irma J. I'm here to give you a word on today. And this is about Joe White. She didn't quit. She was still hanging on. You know, the devil got rid of his whole family except his wife. Now, Joe White was at her waist, and she was at the end of her rope. Now, we know that Joe was in pain and sorrow of his losses, but his wife was also emotional, depleted from her gracious losses also. You know, Joe's wife had nothing left to give to her husband. She wept so much in such a short time that she was sure she'll cry her last tear. You know, and they didn't talk too much about Joe White in Joe's story. Um this she just said that one little line, you just curse God and die. But we have to realize all the children that he lost, it was her losses too. It was her children too. You know, the wealth, all that depend on her too. Um So she was a lot of emotional also. And she hated to see that Joe was in so much pain too. Now her life seemed hopeless and worse, but yet she felt like God did not seem to care. You know, now everything, and she seemed like, you know, Joe was a man of God. He was a righteous man. He loved the God. But then his wife saw a different view, and she didn't think, you know, God cared about Job with all the pain and suffering he in. So everything that she cherished was now nothing but a memory. You know, and even a memory was starting to blur her. You know, now one day she had a frightened experience of sudden not being able to see the picture of her loved one face to face. You know, her mind in her son and daughter, you know, under the stress of her situation, she suffered untold emotional and distress of physical pain. Now, Joe had to been in his trials for a long time. For her dreams and emotion to try to see her kid was all blurred. It don't get blurry that fast unless Joe was in his stone for a long period of time. They didn't say how long he was in it. But she started to try to see her kids, it started being blurry. You know, the untold emotional and distress and physical pain. Now, she also wasn't eating and she wasn't sleeping also. Now, we know Joe wasn't taking care of himself. You know, he was unrecognized. But at the same time, his wife, she wasn't eating and sleeping either. You know, she was so busy taking care of her husband and seeing him in so much pain. Not so perhaps it's not a surprising that the day she saw her husband covered in bars and scrapes himself with a sharp pottery, and she just lost it. You know, that was the time when she just lost it. You know, because Joe just started looking bad. You know, he had, Satan hit him on his side right here. And so he had to put polish, he had to scrape himself to put the polish and stuff on him, you know, and she just was overwhelmed and emotional. Joe White felt to pieces emotionally and spiritual. She was broken, just want her husband to quit. She just want her husband to quit. You know, but you know, a lot of times it don't mean it just don't gonna be over. You know, they want to eliminate, Joe, and then the trial would have went on her to see how faithful she is. You know, um, his wife said to him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? You know, curse God and die." You know, now she not only said curse God, she told her husband to die too. You know, so maybe she had resented on Joe pity and devotion to God for a while. You know, on the other hand, maybe she had actually been on the same level of spiritual as her husband before her tragic loss and was simply responding under stress. Now, exactly the way some of us might similar situation. Now, on a hard instant, a broken heart was reckoned. Now, for her to make a statement like that, she must have was under a lot of stress. Now, what I do when I'm under a lot of stress, I try to read, but sometimes you don't grab that Bible in time enough, and a lot of times you say reckless words under stress. Now she done lost her children. We don't know how long until the children start being blurry to her. She couldn't recognize the children's faces. And see, back then they had pictures that you can take and hold on to. Once they gone, they just gone out of your memory if you don't keep track on their memory. So now, in the loved ones, we can hold on to some pictures, either on the phone or just hold on to pictures. Now we know Job. Job was a righteous man. But the truth is, we don't know if his wife was ever got backtracked with God. So the losses Job lost, the losses that Job lost also was his wife too. It seemed like Job hurt the most, but she said it hurt her to see Job in pain and sorrow. Now she was at her end of her rope to quit, but they both hung on, and God blessed them, and they both got children back in riches. So they didn't talk about the story. This a good Bible that I have, and they have most of them come with the individual story. So she was saying she was in pain too. She was in pain too, and she hated to see her husband in so much physical pain. She know he was a righteous man. She know he loved the God. So why would she make a statement like that to curse God and you just died? And so we didn't realize in the Bible they all talk about Job, his losses, but they never said nothing about his wife. That was our children too. And so after he done lost all the children, all the wealth and everything, and see that's the thing. Satan had got rid of everybody in his family. But Satan gonna always hold somebody around to do his dirty work. And nobody but Satan told her to say such a thing. Because why would she make a statement like that, even if she under stress? And so a lot of time, Satan gonna keep some, people around, because he done got rid of all her children, but she still was hanging around. Satan did not touch her. He wanted her to say the stupid little words that she did to Job, and she's saying she made statements under stress, emotion and stress, and so they just lost everything. And after they gained everything back, now remember, in the times of trouble, they had the 3 friends came over. There wasn't no help, and they still had his brothers and his sisters. They still was alive, but nobody came over just to support you. The 3 friends came, but there wasn't no help. But everything, they got everything back. Then they had a big festival, a big dinner, and then the brothers, the sisters, the neighbor, everybody saw coming over. But what people be at when you in a mix of your insulation in your stone? No one was there. And so God gave him everything back, gave him the children back, the wealth back, even triple. He got more than what he had before. And so he got more children back, more wealth, and because Joe had got to a point he was unrecognized, he wasn't taking care of himself, wasn't bathing, wasn't sleeping, and so that's the story of his wife. The wife. What? What the hell? So the wife just wanted him to quit. But Joe, excuse me, Joe and his wife hung on, and they got everything back. But that's all I have for you today. I see you on the next video.